So I want to make some cookies today, and I'm looking around the kitchen trying to figure out what ingredients I can use and make what kind of cookies, and then I go to the fridge. There's an excessive amount of blueberries. I'm thinking like cookies and blueberries, they couldn't possibly go together. Or could they? Milk bar, blueberry and cream cookies coming up over here. Let's do it. So this is a two-part cookie. We have the cookie dough that we have to make, and then we have a thing called a milk crumb. And then we take that milk crumb and then we add it into the cookie dough. Then we bake them. But firstly, before all that, we need to get our ingredients right here. First, we're gonna start with our milk crumb, which is like a sandy, crunchy, crumbly crumb. I make them a lot for these milk bar layer cakes that I keep making, and this sounds no different. Half a cup of milk powder, quarter cup of flour, 2 tablespoons of sugar, it's gonna be 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, 4 tablespoons of butter, which I'm going to melt, half a teaspoon of salt, and 90 grams of white chocolate. You will need a bowl, and I'm gonna add milk powder, flour, sugar, cornstarch, salt. Now toss with your hands, which I'm not going to because I hate the texture of cornstarch. So I'm gonna use a miniature whisk instead. I'm gonna drizzle this butter into this mixture. I'm gonna mix this together until it forms small clusters. Small clusters. Spread our, holy shit. I'm gonna quickly throw this in the oven for 20 minutes. White chocolate in a bowl in the microwave. These milk crumbs should not be bigger than ½ an inch in diameter. So if there are any oversized crumbs, just make sure you pinch them, bring them back down to size. No. Oh, you f***. If you're burning the white chocolate in the microwave like I just did, you're gonna have to redo it. Luckily, I have more. Pour this melted white chocolate onto your crumbs. Hot, 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 hot. Toss the crumbs in the white chocolate until they're completely covered. And then you're gonna continue tossing these every 5 minutes until the white chocolate has hardened. Dried blueberries. I have blueberries, just regular old fresh blueberries, and the recipe actually says dried blueberries, and I didn't really consider that, so I have to figure out how to make dried blueberries. How to make dried blueberries. Preheat oven at 225, bake blueberries for 3 hours. I feel like I just saw a ghost. Pat the blueberries with paper towel and spread them on a parchment-lined baking sheet. Put these blueberries into the oven to dry out for 3 hours.
Okay, your timer is set for 3 hours.
Don't be so chipper about it. Hours later, dried out, dehydrated blueberries. So next up is the cookie dough. We're moving on to the dough. So you're gonna wanna make sure that all your measurements are correct. Use a digital scale for the big boys, like the flour, the sugar, the butter. Room temperature butter, 225 grams. 320 grams of all-purpose flour. 2/3 cup of light brown sugar, white sugar, 2/3 cup, 2 eggs, half a teaspoon of baking powder, quarter teaspoon of baking soda, salt, teaspoon and a half, quarter cup of glucose syrup. Jesus, that's a lot. In a bowl, combine my butter, both sugars. Now you gotta listen to Tosi, do what she says. She says a 1/4 cup of glucose syrup. That seems excessive. 1/4 cup of glucose syrup. And I hope I come out the other end. Now with my trusty hand mixer, I'm going to mix this for 2 to 3 minutes. Medium-high speed. Add your eggs. Continue to mix for 7-8 minutes. Look at that. That was a long ass mix, but it is looking fine and dandy, like sour candy. What we gotta do next, I gotta add my baking soda, my baking powder, my salt, and my flour while the mixer's running, but it's very important not to overmix the flour. Super important. Like if you do, then the whole thing's kaput. So I'm just gonna mix it for like a minute, then I'm calling it, okay? Just a minute. Y'all ready for this? 50 seconds, that's it. Under a minute. I got my milk crumbs, gonna add them into my dough for like 30 seconds. It's just a quick little mix. Be on your way. Just half of them. Okay, like that, that's good. Okay, it's taken all day to get to this point, but here are my dehydrated, dried out blueberries. Look like raisins, just dropped one on the ground. I'm gonna add all these into my mixture for another 30 seconds. On second thought, see the juices and the blueberries kind of leaking out while I had that mixer running, so I'm just gonna mix them with the old spatula. Plate, parchment paper on a plate. I'm going to scoop up the dough into little balls. This is a very runny dough, I don't know why. Oopsie, shit. Why is this dough so runny? Okay, I've made a mess of literally every clean part of this kitchen. It has been destroyed. That was the stickiest dough I've ever worked with, like ever. I was using an ice cream scoop or like a 1/4 cup measuring cup, whatever works. You scoop it down and then you flatten it with some sort of thing. You want about 4 inches in between each dough ball, which these aren't even really dough balls, they're just dough blobs. All right, well, I'm gonna get these into the fridge. It was just cookies. It was just cookies. It is the next day. Good morning. Guten Tag. My dough is firmed up. It is no longer very sticky. It is only kind of sticky. What had happened was last night, after I had them in the fridge for an hour, I took them off this parchment paper and I rolled them up into something that more resembles a cookie dough ball. It's just something's kind of weird with this cookie dough and I have to work with what I got. I'm gonna put my dough balls onto my parchment paper lined baking sheet and I'm gonna give them lots of space, lots of breathing space. Now I got 2 things going on. I got these dough balls here. I also have another batch of dough balls in the freezer and those are rock solid. I could chuck those through the window. So I'm gonna use those if this goes south, which it might. So I'm not gonna waste any time. These go into the oven immediately once you take them out of the fridge because you don't want them to become room temperature. They're gonna go in there for 18 minutes. And you know, I just cross my fingers. Good luck. Good luck. Oh, so what I'm looking out for is that they are brown on the outside and slightly white on the inside. do look decent. I am pleased with these. However, they browned up a bit more than I would like, and I think it has something to do with how long I had them in the oven. 18 minutes seems like a hell of a long time. What I'm gonna do with my next batch, honestly, you could do a lot of damage with these. I'm gonna put these in the oven for like 15 minutes. That $1,000,000 question with cookies is when the hell do you take them out? They look nearly ready now, but if I take them out now, they're not gonna be done. If I take them out a minute from now, they're probably gonna be over-baked. So I just... Are they ready now? Blueberries, by far best feature of this cookie. It just steals the show. I just wish there was more blueberries in there. Milk crunch in there, which is just competing with the blueberries. It's not a competition though. They're just getting along. They're delivering. That's got a really nice chew to the whole cookie. It's got a real nice chew to it. I guess don't stack your cookies. Wait several hours before you do that. So I'm looking at the cookie from the Milk Bar website right here. That is the actual Milk Bar. Where is the sense in that? Now, if anyone at all can let me know why her cookies look white in color and mine are darker, even though she claims to have them in the oven for 18 minutes. Finding it hard to believe, Tosi. Sorry to interrupt. I am from the future. This is a special cookie announcement. It's been a few days since I made these cookies, and I have a gripe to pick with them. At least with what I've made. They didn't actually turn into cookies. They resemble more of something like almost like a muffin? Like a blueberry muffin. It's been bothering me, like, how did I screw these up? I thought I did everything by the book. It has to be something with that cookie dough batter. You know, when I was scooping it up and putting it onto the tray, there was something there that wasn't right. It wasn't resembling cookie dough. And I've worked with cookie dough. I know what cookie dough was. This was something else. Okay, my friends, that's all I got today. I hope you enjoyed the show. And if you did, and you're not already a subscriber, you should please subscribe. That would be awesome. And if you're already a subscriber, never mind that. Sweet stuff. I'll see you soon.